What's happening? Today is a special day.
Big move day.
Big move day. It's our very first moving day as full-time RVers. So we're taking everything that we've owned and accumulated over the past 10 years of living right here behind us, and we're moving it into 𝐼𝐴𝐺. 𝐼𝐴𝐺 is our Grand Designs Imagine 21-foot RV. Our house is roughly, what, 1,000?
About 900 square feet. We're going into about 180 square feet with 2 dogs.
Definitely going to be an adventure. We're going to be here in South Carolina on just a raw piece of land with no amenities, no utilities, no plumbing, no power, no nothing for probably about a month, month and a half while we build out 𝐼𝐴𝐺 here to get her ready. And we figured that it's going to provide a ton of interesting content for you guys to watch. So here goes our very first week in the RV as full-time RVers, going from sticks and bricks to wheels.
Yep.
What's happening? I'm Will.
I'm Christy.
And this is Pumbaa Dog.
After years of overlanding across the United States, we decided to hang up normalcy and move full-time into 𝐼𝐴𝐺, our 21-foot travel trailer.
Our goal is to set up base camp in different regions of the U.S. and explore the areas around us. We invite you to join us as we share our adventures of full-time living.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Full-Time Living. In last week's episode, we introduced ourselves and made a few initial repairs to 𝐼𝐴𝐺 before we'd ever moved any of our stuff in.
Now it's March 2020 and it's time for our nomadic adventure to begin. Alright, so Christy and I are preparing for the very first moving day where we are moving all of our stuff and we're moving it to absolutely nothing. Like it's just an empty lot and we won't have power for a couple days, so that's going to be quite the experience within itself.
Yeah, but at least we've got the generator.
We do have the generator. Eventually very soon I'll be getting an off-grid setup. But yeah, for right now, this is just the standard. This is the standard trailer. This is what you get whenever you buy one. So
technically, guess we'd be boondocking?
We're definitely going to be extreme boondocking. Extreme boondocking. So yeah, it's going to be an adventure. But this is the very first start of the adventure.
Can I do it the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, we should have made sure that the drill was charged up prior. But I did make sure that the Sawzall is charged up, so that way, when we get to where we're going, I can just cut all the little trees.
Oh,
so
okay.
I guess that's more important, because I definitely don't want to do that the old-fashioned way.
No.
All right, let's check our slide. Make sure nothing's in the way of our slide. We're good?
I think we're good.
Man, that thing always sounds suspect. Like, at any given time, I'm just so deathly afraid that it's just not going to work. Like, it's always suspect. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just the way they all are. Let's roll. This thing's going to be a constant battle right here. Especially with this bullshit-ass broom. Look at this broom Christy got.
Hey, it was 99 cents.
I can see. You should have got the rest of it.
It works fine. What's wrong with it?
Little broom for a little house.
Pretty much.
The final drive out, sort of. We just got to come and take out the trash and clean up and all that.
Final walkthrough.
10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've lived here for 10 years.
It's a long time.
We've been together 17, so nearly half the time that we've spent together,
We've lived here. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Well, here she is, our temporary digs. I had to clear all that out with the chainsaw and a sawzall in order to get it in, but we got it in. And it's right along this dirt road next to the woods. My grandmother actually lives right there. My cousin lives right there. We live right here. You know, I will say that it sounds like it goes out a whole lot easier than it goes in.
Living here on my cousin's land was really a blessing. Not only did it allow us to have some time to slowly transition into full-time RV living, but it really showed us all the different things that we were going to need to consider as we traveled around the United States.
What do you think so far of our new little spot?
Huh?
I'm digging it.
Just need water.
Agua.
Yeah.
Right now, we're boondocking with no water, but there is a pump in there, and we think that we're going to hook into that eventually.
Otherwise, it's great. Free entertainment across the street.
Oh, man. Wait until we tell you about that situation later on tonight. So today, we've got a busy day.
Okay.
We've got to finish moving all of our things from the other place where we've spent the last 10 years of our life. And then we got to go to the dump. But before all that, we got to go to Miss Avery's birthday. She's turning 8 today. So I don't even think that we can consider ourselves boondocking. We're like mooch docking, I think. We're just,
Mooch docking?
yeah, we're like mooched up to the AC via electrical cord. But this will have to work until we get a off-grid system. They're not happy that we now have doggy neighbors. They have not had to deal with that. So where we were at was basically like family land. It was around 50 acres of horse ranch. They're not used to neighbors. And as you can hear, we got neighbors. One thing that we're gonna have to get used to is taking the dogs all over the place with us.
Yeah, everywhere we go.
That's something that's new. For sure.
After attending Miss Avery's birthday party, it was off to the old house to do our final walkthrough and get everything out of the house. And I must say, it was definitely bittersweet as we went through this process. Now, the best thing about doing this was we were able to enjoy one last final hot, long shower, which we would so desperately miss later on down the road.
The final walkthrough is when it really hit me that we are doing this. It was very emotional and exciting at the same time.
Is it?
I look so bad. I have wet shower here.
I have wet shower here too. We took our last long hot shower
That we'll have for a while.
that we had. Well, other than like going to the gym or truck stops.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah. We have cleared out all the things, and it's time to say goodbye.
It is.
10 years we spent here. We've had good memories. We've
Glasses
had
are fogging up.
bad memories.
Yeah.
We've met friends, made friends, lost friends.
Said goodbye to friends.
Said goodbye to friends. But it's time to move on.
Yeah.
On to the next chapter. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Just after getting things settled in, Imogen, aka Puddles, started showing her true colors yet again.
This isn't leaking from the clamps. This is leaking from the actual pipe right there. Living inside of such a tiny area is going to present a whole level of different things. One of the things that it's presented so far is it's kind of a busy lifestyle, man. I don't know, it seems like it. We're only like a weekend. So far, it seems like a little bit of a workout. More so than what would normally be in your sticks and bricks.
It's a lot of work.
It's a little bit.
Not a little work. It's a lot of work.
What are some of the things that you've noticed right off the rip?
You got to pay attention to your side. Like, you can't just let that thing out. Awning, if it's too windy, you got to pull that thing in. And then...
There's no just having a front porch.
Nah. And then you got to make sure your wheels and everything are leveled. And you got to put your blocks in front of them and under them and around them.
Well, that's just moving day. Ideally, you don't have to move.
We got to move it tomorrow.
That's because we got to reposition it where we're at. I mean, it's mobile, though. It's not that bad. Moving it's not that bad, I don't think.
No, I think it's just the daily activities. Like, you got to turn on your stuff for your hot water 30, 45 minutes prior to wanting to take a shower. Because that water was not, it was ice cold. So I only
and then you only get like a couple gallons of hot water.
So I took like a bird bath basically. Hair, I'm probably gonna have to wash it every 3 days.
Dry shampoos.
Yeah, dry shampoos, baby wipes. It's kind of back to the way we were camping in a way.
But it helps you really realize how much you use in a regular atmosphere.
Oh yeah, like now when I brush my teeth, I have to turn the water off. I don't even really wet the toothbrush. I just put the paste on and brush and then rinse and then...
But is it a bad way of living? I mean, I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, we're just not consuming as much, and you literally have to think about every single thing you can consume and everything that you put out. So like everything...
I think that it's good to be maybe not as worried about it as we have to be, but it's good to be worried about it.
Well, I think at some point we'll, get really relaxed with it, but right now it's like, every little drop of water matters because we don't have water.
Well, it's going to remain that way while we're in here.
So, yeah,
it's different.
It's different. Yeah. Having to calculate every single move you make, really.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to think about what you're doing.
And the propane, then you worry, in the middle of the night, am I going to run out of propane and wake up freezing? I mean, that's happened before camping in the tent.
That is the worst.
That is a miserable experience.
So this is an adventure, y'all, which is exactly what we thought it was going to be. So stay tuned. So at this point in time, we are not really boondocking or camper living as much as we are homesteading, I guess you could say.
My cousin's property was already set up with a pump that used to work as well as a septic tank. So the first order of business here was to provide an area where we could dump and pump, meaning we could dump all of our tanks into the septic tank as well as pump fresh water into the holding tank.
For those who have never seen one, because this is the first one that I've ever seen, when somebody says that they have well water, that's what it is, essentially. That's your well down in there. I don't know how people were falling into these things, but at one time that was an apparent issue, at least around Lassie and all them.
This property was originally my great-great-grandmother and grandfather's property, so as you can imagine, we found all sorts of different stuff as we plundered around here.
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool. It's like an old cedar. Some kind of thing that you put the seeds in the top down and it drops them down as you roll, but it's plastic, so I'm thinking it's probably from the 80s. I don't know. When do you guys think it's from? Leave a comment down below. Here in the southeast, it's been very nice, and I've always said there's like 6 weeks of really good weather in the southeast that you get per year, and the 6 weeks are never consecutive, but you do get 6 weeks per year. Now, I've changed that opinion of mine, and I changed it this year. I think you get 12. They're not consecutive, but I think that you get 12 weeks of really good weather in the southeast region of the U.S. And this is ultimately the reason that we're probably going to end up staying in the southeastern region. After we're done traveling and everything, we're going to end up somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains in the southeast region. I firmly believe that. Unless we get out west and we just absolutely fall in love, which there's a real possibility of that. But as of right now, that's the plan. So let's move on to some RV life problems, okay? Right now, we are in need of fresh water. We don't have any fresh water. We're getting a well hooked up, but it's not hooked up yet. We were able to collect some water off of the well once we got it running, but the water was contaminated. The well has not run in a very long time. It needs to flush out, so it was nasty water. The water did become clear after a certain period of time, or clearer, I should say, after a certain period of time, and we did collect that in buckets, and we were able to fill up the freshwater tank just a little bit, only a few gallons. Never even registered 2/3. It's been at 1/3 for probably about 4 days now. That being said, we do have drinking water because we use a 7-gallon jug for drinking water that I use for overlanding and all the various trips and stuff like that I take. So we've got drinking water covered. Now, the dogs also have to drink out of that water because this water, I've tasted it. I hadn't drank it, but I've tasted it, and it's quite nasty. I don't know what's in it, but the dogs can't drink it, so they have to share the drinking water with us. Now, as far as the taste, that doesn't really matter when you talk about bathing and using the toilet, so the water's perfect for that. The only problem with that is I have fears of putting it inside of the holding tank because whatever contaminants are causing the discoloration in the water, I feel sure would get caught up in the water pump, and therefore it would make the water pump fail prematurely. We definitely don't want to have to deal with that. Now, I could come up with some sort of filter system, which would be nice, and then I could just filter it and I wouldn't have that problem. I'm still thinking about it, but I haven't figured it out yet. Another option that I have is that I can collect rainwater, and that actually works really good. It's been raining a lot here lately, and I've been able to collect over the past few storms multiple 5-gallon buckets full of water. Now, the issue that I have again, though, is putting that into the fresh water tank. There's particles and stuff that come off the roof, different stuff like that, and that gets into the fresh water tank and then could cause an issue with the water pump, and that won't be good. Not only that, but let me introduce to you another issue in the Southeast, which is pollen season. Pollen season in the Southeast is absolutely incredibly bad. And when you actually look into what pollen is based off of how flowers' life cycles are and everything like that, it's quite a nasty situation. Nonetheless, there's tons of pollen in the Southeast, and that's something that you have to deal with. So whenever you collect the rainwater, it all puddles up and it turns all the water yellow. Those little particles, again, would be going and getting trapped up inside of the water filter or up inside the water pump, and I don't know that there's any way that I can filter that stuff out, especially how small they are. You notice how many bugs? Yeah, they're all sucked up into that little fan, right? But and look, they can't get out. Yeah, and they can't get, because we're sucking. Oh, what was that? Oh my God! Oh Jesus, he got chopped up. There ain't no bugs in this.
That don't make no sense.
But there is a bunch of dust particles and stuff. See them?
Yeah, but
how do we get so much dust right here? Where you want to go?
Anywhere, I just want to get away. We've been like non-stop for a very long time.
Alright, so do you want to go to the mountains? Do you want to go to the beach?
I kind of like to go to the beach. But then you gotta deal with all these other people and
I don't think we will because of the coronavirus.
And their animals and
no coronavirus.
But I also like to go to the beach, to the mountains, but I also don't want to be cold and wet and miserable.
Seems to be that's how we are in the mountains.
It's like that every time we go.
When you
every time we go, it's pouring down rain and freezing.
All right, so beach.
I guess beach. But it's like we're in that in-between time on weather. Like, it's not hot enough to swim and wear bathing suits, but it's not cold enough to wear jackets and hoodies.
It's the best time of the year.
So it's like blue jeans, and t-shirts, I guess. That water will be freezing. But then with the sand and the dogs, you deal with all that mess and dirt, and each thing's got its pros and cons. To be honest with you, whichever place has the better weather.
And
if the beach is nice and warm and not gonna rain, beach it is. But if the mountains are gonna be nice and cool and pretty and dry, and it'll just be me, you, and the dogs, I'd rather go there. But if it's gonna rain and it's gonna be in the 30s, I won't go.
I have people that kind of want to meet us in places.
Where?
Wherever we go, they want us to let them know. Are you saying that you'd rather not?
I'm bashful, quiet, and I'm not outgoing and
vibrant
like you are. I'm very quiet and shut off until I know you, and then I won't stop talking.
What you got packed?
A little bit of everything, even though we're only going for like a day and a half. Because I don't know where we're going. I don't know if I need hot clothes, cold clothes.
So you're just gonna bring
everything.
What's happening? Today we are off to Florida.
What did you call it?
Peters Point.
Peters Point.
Yeah. We're gonna take you guys with us. We're gonna take the dogs with us. We got the tent all packed up. We got everything that we're gonna need. We got about a 4-hour drive, so let's hit the road, yo. Yeah, man. All is well on the beachfront. What do you think, babe?
Like I was saying last night, I don't know how we've never been here before.
Yeah.
It's so close to home.
It's crazy to think that you go tent camping in order to escape the monotony of regular full-time living in a camper, but that's exactly what we did, and it was absolutely perfect, and it was just what we needed. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Full Time Living. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get notifications when we drop new episodes, and join us next week for another all-new episode of Full Time Living. Peace!